These are the plaintiffs, Gail, Marissa, and Kira Kowalczyk. Gail says the defendant illegally sublet the basement in her house to a nightmare woman who trashed it before she moved out. The woman turned the heat up to 80, then placed dead fish on the radiators, for crying out loud. She even drew genitals on the wall. The town condemned her basement. She's out all kinds of crazy money, and they're suing the defendant for the state max, $5,000. This is the defendant, Dawn DeSimone. She says the plaintiff agreed on her roommate, and when she moved out, they evidently had some issues with her. Now she's responsible for any problems that arose with this other woman? Why? Bottom line, she owes nothing, and she thinks the judge will agree. She's accused of picking the wrong roommate.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Gail?
Yes.
Marissa?
Yes.
And Kira Kowalczyk?
Yes.
All right, you're suing Dawn DeSimone?
Yes.
For $5,000 in damages. You say you're actually out more than that, but that's statutory maximum in your state of New York. For lost rental income plus attorney's fees in trying to evict another person.
Correct.
Okay, talk to me.
Okay. My dad passed away, and 13 months later, my mom passed away. So
I'm sorry.
My daughters and I inherited the house, and I wanted to keep the house for memory's sake. So
Did you grow up in that house?
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness.
So
Okay.
I had to rent it. So on July 15th, 2011, I entered a lease agreement with Dawn DeSimone and Maureen for $2,300 a month plus utilities, the single family dwelling, and they had the entire house. And then on November 15th, Dawn had called me and said that Maureen's not paying her half of the rent. So I called Maureen up, and she said that Dawn was with her ex-fiancé, that she was out of there, she already got another place, and she was done.
Okay.
So now I confronted Dawn, and Dawn said that she loved the place and that she wanted to remain renting the house, but she would have problems making payments. So I agreed for her to find a housemate, and she had given me this little ad, which I agreed, for her to find someone to share the house with. So when I went to the house, Dawn put in a kitchen in my basement, a woman, a Rottweiler, and 3 cats.
Wait. She installed a kitchen in your basement?
Yes.
What do you mean by the word kitchen?
A kitchen to
An entire
cook dinner.
kitchen, not a hot plate, an entire kitchen?
Yes.
Is that accurate?
With the help of her husband, yes.
What?
Gail's husband, Mike, helped me build the apartment so that we could put somebody in there.
Let me hear from you.
There was already, the downstairs was already set up kind of as an apartment, but was never used as an apartment. There was an area that had tiled floor and a little cabinet area. She put a sink and a stove and a refrigerator in there.
Okay, she says
There's never any of that before.
Quite a bit of money.
She says that is her dad helped her install it.
No.
No.
Why isn't your dad here?
The heat.
My dad. My husband is self-employed, and he was in the
Do you
hospital
have an
for a
affidavit
week
from him or anything?
with double pneumonia. No, I didn't think it was necessary for him to be here. He is not really.
Okay, so go on.
But Dawn did not get a housemate. She made a separate dwelling out of my single-family dwelling house. She changed all the locks. We exchanged information with this woman downstairs, and shortly thereafter, the woman had called me and said that Dawn was speaking bad things about her because she's interviewing new tenants. And I
Speaking
said,
bad things about whom?
about the person that was in the
Okay,
basement.
the person in the basement is somebody named Kim.
Kim,
Right,
yes.
and Kim, you and Kim exchange information.
Yes.
To what end?
At that time.
At that point,
actually,
you just
my husband got her name and phone number.
She's living in your house.
She's
so you
living in
want-
my house.
Okay, so go on.
Then the woman downstairs called and said that she was listening between the doors, that Dawn was interviewing new tenants for the upstairs. And I said, what are you talking about? And then she said that Dawn was moving back with her husband. So I went on the Craigslist, and I found out that that Dawn was subletting not only my downstairs, but my upstairs. And here are the ads, and it says, contact landlord directly with her cell number to share the washer and dryer with the basement tenant. She also put it up with a broker, and they were going to collect 1 month's security and 1 month's rent. And here's my mom and dad's house, my house, with, pictures. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And I didn't know what was going on. I thought Dawn was maybe collecting, security and month's rent, or maybe she was scamming people, or maybe she was going to try to rent the upstairs, downstairs, and make a profit. And at this point, my husband contacted her, and we gave her back her security. And by January 20th, Dawn was out of my house.
He asked me to move out.
Why did he ask you to move out?
I think he was just concerned that I wouldn't be able to come up with the full payment. I was
Were
paying.
you up to date?
I was, and I
So
paid.
why would he ask you to move out? That's not why he asked you to move out.
It is.
Did he ask you to move out because he was angry about this?
Actually, because the phone call he received from the girl downstairs, she was misleading and telling him that I was looking. She just made him worry that I was going to put the wrong person in the house, and I'm not sure. I don't know how the phone call went, but she heard me looking.
Did you in fact put an ad on Craigslist saying contact landlord directly and put your number?
I did.
Okay, and what was
I was
why is
just-
that okay?
I wanted somebody to call me if they were interested in.
All right, in any
renting the
event,
house with me.
this other person never comes in there. This
No.
other person, like this,
No.
you got kicked out before then and you agreed to
Correct.
leave. You actually gave her back her security deposit.
Yes, I did.
Okay, now Kim is down there.
Yes.
Kim is giving you guys, Kim, or as you have called her, the beast in the basement.
Absolutely.
All right, why?
I moved into the house after Dawn moved out because the woman downstairs, we couldn't go downstairs. We were told we were not allowed downstairs
By her.
by the cops.
Police officers.
By the cops. Because, well, how'd the cops get involved?
Oh,
She called them
Because what?
because we threatened her with a shotgun.
she said that.
What?
said
It was
that.
a lie.
Wait,
It
she
was a
says
joke.
that
It was
like
a-
it's nothing. You
was a
threatened her with a
lie.
shotgun?
No,
That's what she said. She
No,
said we.
Oh, you're
So
being
let me
sarcastic. You didn't actually
Sorry,
threaten her with a
sorry.
shotgun.
Let me interject. The police officer said that if I went downstairs, that
Oh, my
I would
goodness.
be arrested, and that I should learn the law if I'm going to be a landlord. And and I said, I'm the taxpayer, and this is, I have stuff down there, and I didn't put her in, and I didn't collect a dime of rent. It didn't matter. She had squatter rights, tenant rights. So that was February 7th. We finally got a court date. The first court date was March 8th. And then on March 15th, the judge said she had 10 days to evict. On
That was
March,
pretty fast for an eviction, I got to tell you.
I know, so everyone told me it was an eternity
I know.
for me.
I know.
These litigants were at war when the defendant rented the plaintiff's crib and warfare broke out. Let's listen.
March 25th, she got out, and prior to that, on March 6th, she
No, just tell me
pepper-
what happens when she gets out. You find out what?
I find, okay, she left me
What has she done to destroy your place? Get to
fish
that.
in the radiator,
Oh no.
and she turned the heat up to 80, and it still smells like fish. She drew penises on the wall.
Oh, let me see.
She broke the door. There's here, there's,
She'll ask you about it.
yeah. I mean, mind you, this is my parents' home. These are my memories. So
Did you call the police when this happened?
yes,
What did the police do?
it's a
Nothing.
civil matter.
No, this isn't a civil matter. This is criminal mischief.
That's
did
what I
nothing.
thought. But
She took every.
You should have. Did you go? You should go up the ladder with the police.
She took every
tried.
doorknob off of every
tried?
door. She took every light bulb out. She took the toilet seat off, the shower door, everything
17
off.
switch plates she took off.
Oh no, this is clearly not just a civil matter. It is a
cop-
civil matter. It is also at this point a criminal mischief matter. I am
I
finding it
thought
hard to
that-
believe that you. What is that? Oh, I don't even want to know. What's that?
Oh. If you go
I
to the
don't
next
wanna know.
picture, where the doorknob, makes a
Put a
hole.
stopper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so my mom
She
and dad
poked
put
it through.
a plastic stopper. She stuffed dirty
whole
diapers
wall.
behind the sheetrock.
And eggs.
So that's
I'm gonna
the
throw up.
opening.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I'm gonna go arrest her myself.
It was horrible. The opening, we had
you
to
find
open the
this woman?
sheetrock. Yeah.
Craigslist.
What the heck? Did you interview her? Did you talk to her?
I did. I had interviewed a number of people.
I mean, their premise is this. You're on the hook because you took this landlord status, you converted their apartment below into a separate entity, and so you're on the hook because you didn't have authority to do that. Now, your version is, no, that's not true. I had authority to find a housemate. What I found was a housemate, and any conversion I did was with Mike's approval.
Yes. Well, can I just say, I think the reason why...
What I want to know is where you found this crazy human.
First, I just want to say, I think the reason why Mike is not here is because he would have to lie in court. Okay, so he would not tell you anything in court today because he did help me. I myself cannot build an apartment.
I can't believe she put fish on the radio and that the police didn't just
and this girl was horrible.
Pigtails right from wherever she was. I cannot believe
she was horrible. But let me tell you, Your Honor, I was willing to pay the full rent, which I did for 2 months because I didn't want to stick. I loved that house just as much as Gail, and she kept me there because she knows I cleaned that house up and I love that house and I gave that house. To see that right now upsets me probably just as much as Gail. This girl was horrible. When my roommate first moved out.
I can't get over this.
That's horrible.
The fish should be freaking me out more, but it's almost like the diapers are freaking me out more.
And she doesn't have babies. I don't know where she got diapers from.
She moved her 19-year-old daughter and the daughter's child after she was served with the eviction.
She moved everybody in?
Yes.
And you know what the daughter said?
Honest to God, what police department is this?
2nd Precinct.
Honest to God, I'm going to call them.
Do you know what they told us?
I am. I'm going to call the police chief, and I'm going to hand him this tape, and I'm going to hand him this, and then I would like for the police chief to explain how this doesn't convert to a criminal case.
I know.
Do you know what they told us, the cops?
Yeah.
Every time they came to the door, they looked at me and they said, "I'm going to arrest you."
Absolutely.
Why? Did you have a lip? Did you get a lip?
No, I lived there. I would sit in the kitchen. I played cards with 3 of my friends. She would call every 5 minutes for noise complaints. The cops would come in, and I'm like, "Come inside, look around. We don't even have music on." She just kept calling and calling the
cops. Did the cops have the impression that you guys were having a little like War of the Roses, you and the basement tenant?
Yeah.
So they got sick of whoever was calling.
Yeah,
but or they got sick of being called. But that doesn't excuse this
Also,
unless they think you did this.
No,
which I can't imagine that you would do this and then turn around and sue her.
I had to clean it up.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So somebody did that to you, put fish in the basement and then turned the heat up and the whole thing. What would you do to them?
I would mail it back to them and shove it in their car. Make them pay for it.
I like the mailing it back to them. What do you think?
I think what I would do is invite them for dinner and ask them, could they come over for a seat?
Oh, and you'd serve them the fish.
Yes.
I love it. I love that. Okay, what would you do? I want something clever.
Something clever?
Yeah.
I would tell them to go on people's court.
Okay. I was hoping it would be more like The Godfather, but that was just me going inside the courtroom.
On March 6th, when they were living there, she would turn the water off. She would tamper with the utilities because she had access to the downstairs, the water, the heat, the electrical panel. She had it all.
Anyway, I don't know what you can tell me now that could match diapers in the wall or fish on the radio. I want you to stop and I want you to listen to what I want you to address. This is the crux of this case.
Okay.
All right? You have a situation where you tell a tenant, find a housemate. She finds a housemate. According to you, you discover, much to your shock, that she has illegally converted your basement for the housemate.
Absolutely.
That already has the sound of something that's not true. I'm going to tell you why. Because it's not like she could expect for it to be a surprise to you that there is a kitchen in the basement. You were going to find that out. But let's just say that all that happened without your approval. And that she is lying when she says that Mike, the one family member you didn't bring today.
He had double pneumonia.
Blah, 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 blah.
He really...
Blah, 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 blah. You're suing for a week. No, I'm sorry. Then don't do it today. Ask for continuing. But you're suing for several $1,000s, and he's the critical witness, and you don't even have an affidavit from him when, but maybe you didn't know this would come up. Okay, whatever. But, that's something else that makes me go, But okay. Another month passes before you get mad at her. In fact, you've got Kim's information. Kim is calling you. Kim is telling you, I heard through the door, because apparently Kim and you aren't getting along. Okay.
She wasn't paying me. I was paying her half.
Okay. So, she's awful. She's trying to do this, trying to do that. Go to Craigslist and find out. And then you get sucked into it. You go to Craigslist, you find out, you ask the paying customer to leave. And you hand her security deposit. That doesn't sound like somebody whose kitchen, who an illegal kitchen has been installed in their bed. You're going to cost me money ripping that out. You're going to cost me fines with the city. No, here's your security deposit.
The other half of the security deposit was still held by Kim. They have the other half of the security. I only got back half. I gave my first roommate the half because I was given the rent from the next girl.
So you got what you were entitled to. You got what you were entitled to.
I got my half. They
but
still
you're
have the
pointing
half.
out that they still kept
So they
half
have to know
for
the
Kim.
girl's there.
So when you act like Kim can stay there because you don't throw her out in December, when you act like Kim can stay there because the one you evicted, what you tell has to leave is her and not Kim, when you keep the security deposit portion that's Kim's, you're sort of acting like Kim's your tenant and not her tenant. Why would she have to pay you? You have a great case against Kim. In fact, I'm astounded, and I am going to call the police department in your because I am astounded that it could get this bad. I don't care how many times they're tired of having to report there, and that they would not find this to be a you should go to the district attorney's office there directly and talk to them about it. Because if the police refuse to act, which I'm going to try to think happy thoughts and think you never showed them these pictures. You hadn't developed it yet. Did you show them these pictures?
They witnessed
saw
it.
the actual
They saw it.
apartment.
They saw the actual.
Right when I got in there, I
believe
called the
this. I'm
cops.
stunned. I'm stunned.
They said, "Oh,
And
we'll
they
send
smelled
you
the fish? Stunned.
Are those the fish I put in the pond?
No.
Thank God.
No,
Yeah.
they're. I don't know what species of fish they are. I don't.
She's not on the hook. This is between you and Kim. My verdict is for the defendant.
Thank you.
But give me, before they go, I want copies of those pictures. I'm going to call the police department myself.
Really?
And so with that verdict, here come the plaintiffs. Come on over here. What's going through your mind here? Come on in. What?
Just
Stop.
another injustice.
Stop.
Another
Go.
injustice. I just feel she put the beast in the basement. She should have paid to get the beast out.
Well, how painful was it for you to see the house that you grew up in defaced like that?
Yeah, it was one
What
of the
were you
worst
showing?
experiences of my entire life. Absolutely. And they could vouch for that.
You could
too.
all head right down
Okay,
there.
Thank
all right?
you.
All right. So come on in here. What's your feeling on the outcome here?
Well, I'm happy. I certainly didn't think that I was responsible for anything there, so I'm certainly happy with the outcome.
What about all those disgusting stories about behavior? The fish on the radiator,
It's
the
really
diapers,
upsetting. Yeah, I wasn't
the
aware
genitals
of it. It
and
is
stuff?
upsetting. I didn't know
Yeah.
that the girl acted like that. Yeah, it's terrible.
Harvey?
You know, when somebody intentionally destroys your property, that's a crime. It's called malicious mischief. We will let you know. I hope this happens, but we will let you know if anything does come of the judge's complaint to the cops. I promise you. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.